Your friends are scrolling through short content, but you, my friend, you're here to learn. Welcome to RAAAZ Clips.
4.5 years back, I saw your TEDx talk, which you delivered, I guess, in 2018. And that is what inspired me to start my YouTube journey. Then you spoke about how TVF got the 60 crore investment and why it was an indication that YouTube is going to blow up in India.
Yeah.
So 4.5 years later, I'm sitting over here with you in your podcast. So it's very special.
No. Glad to be hosting. I have a lot to say to you, about you. I've not spoken to you much outside or here because I always save it for the camera.
Okay.
It's my artistic process with the show.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about that talk. I remember doing it in a corporate setup. And it was in 2018, which is before COVID, which is before the world fast forwarded. And I anticipated that whatever's happening in our world of content now would be happening in 2028 or 2029. But COVID just fast forwarded everything. And the intention behind that talk was to tell those corporate leaders that, hey, spend money on us.
Yeah.
That was the actual intention.
I got it. Because you gave examples also, right?
How times have changed.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that whole phase of pre-COVID, pre-influencer marketing and social media really taking off, it was all about convincing people that this is an actual career. So, very difficult times, honestly, man. Even with Monkey, we had so much trouble, just convincing people to pay us for our services. And now when I go for these big corporate events, people bring up Think School.
Really?
Yeah. Lots of educated people I meet follow your content.
Okay.
And their angle on it is, we don't really follow Indian content. There's a bunch who don't even follow TRS, but they'll follow you.
Wow.
Especially those people who've been educated abroad, who kind of are very well established in the corporate setup. They'll usually just watch OTT like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and then they'll watch Think School.
Oh.
So you've captured a very specific, hardcore urban niche. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good, man. Never thought I'll be here, by the way, because we had a target to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. But we ended up hitting 1 million subscribers, and that was crazy. So all of this is very overwhelming because I'm still trying to catch up with everything that has happened. So yeah, just utterly grateful for this.
What do you mean catch up?
Because life has changed drastically over the past 2.5 years. So in 2021, when I was just getting started with YouTube, Think School was making 30,000 rupees a month. 5,000 rupees went into expenses, 7,000 rupees went into rent. What was left was just 18,000 rupees. That got split into two parts between me and my co-founder Parsh. So I was making 9,000 rupees a month. Parsh was making 9,000 rupees a month. And our house also, our condition was not so good. As in, our parents are well off, but my brother got detected with a medical condition. And because of that, my parents were extremely tensed. During that time, if the elder son of the family has no direction in life and is doing YouTube, making 9,000 rupees a month, you can imagine the pressure, right? Similarly for Parsh, things were even worse because he left a 7 lakh rupee per annum job to work on Think School. He worked at KPMG. And his father had taken up a loan which was taking away 50 to 60% of his income. Again, you can imagine, right? But thankfully, they did not pressurize us to take short-term decisions because they were tensed. That is the reason why we are here today. And from there to here, where we don't have to think about money, we can give people a 1 month off just so that they can recover mentally. That feels pretty amazing because when we were at a position where we needed a break, we couldn't afford it. But now we can give people breaks and we can afford it. So that feels pretty amazing.
I think the Janta is getting very smart, dude. And that's something I'm facing a challenge with as a podcaster. I think my Hindi audience is ahead of my English audience.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
What we were just talking about off screen, that every minute has to matter to the English audience. The Hindi audience is not like that. The Hindi audience just wants to get to know you.
Yeah.
And they want to fill their time with something valuable. The English audience will demand that you put value in their life. And I don't blame them. It's two different upbringings, two different parts of society.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the Hindi podcast a lot more for that reason.
That's why there is a lot of pressure on the content writers of Think School and the editors of Think School, because even if we get like one stat wrong, or even if there is a remote possibility of somebody misinterpreting something that we have said right, people will drop a comment. And it will be like a detailed comment as to why this stat could mislead some people into believing something else.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why value per minute at Think School, we try to keep it peak.
Don't you think nowadays it's become value per second almost?
Yeah, man. Value per second.
Like, especially with Reels audiences, you're battling with short content to like keep people gripped.
With infotainment, or I don't know, with Think School specifically, that's not the case, bro. Because what we've realized is that when we used to make 10-minute videos, people used to watch it. Then we started stretching. So I have a different theory. I say, let's push the intellect of the audience as far as it can get and see where is that limit. So as I started pushing, the utility value of Think School's content got better and better. So when we hit the 20-minute mark, professors started to use Think School videos as study materials. And I'm not talking about like normal colleges. I'm talking about IIM Bangalore. So those professors started to use Think School videos as study materials.
Very interesting.
To set the premise for the lecture.
You effectively trained your own audience up to a point where now the content has more uses than just being entertainment or something you watch arams.
Correct. So what I tell my team is that we have a philosophy at Think School. We make content for the most sincere student. So I assume that if somebody is watching a Think School video, he or she is sitting down with a pen and paper and they're taking notes. And you won't believe me, an IIM Bangalore student dropped me a text saying that he got into IIM Bangalore because Think School's videos helped him a lot during the interview. And he has 2 full notebooks of Think School notes. And that got me thinking that this is exactly what we were imagining about a year back that students would do. And that was happening. So we make content for the most sincere student. That is the reason why you will see a lot of flowcharts. We give out study materials because we don't treat our channel as an infotainment channel. We treat it like a business school on the internet. And what would a business school on the internet do? It would give you enormous value, give you game-changing insights, and it will push your intellect and teach you new things every time it occupies your time. That has been the philosophy of Think School. As a result, we have escaped that categorization of infotainment and we've gone one level above to be perceived as a business school, as study material. And for UPC students also, we've become study materials because if you look at all the other UPC channels, they don't have very high production quality. But if you look at a Think School geopolitical case study, you will almost get this feel that you're watching a documentary. So that way what happens is that they get the information and now it is easily memorable. So they're able to recollect that when they write the UPC paper. That is the reason why even geopolitical content has now become study material. For business students, business case studies have become study material, that's for sure. But because geopolitics and economics and government policy is not taught very well in B schools, these content pieces have become that instrument of extra edge during their interview, during group discussions, and during projects. In fact, when I went to my friend's wedding, his cousin used to use Think School videos so that he could write better assignments, only to discover that the teacher also watches Think School. And she was like, dude, you copied this from Think School because 2 other people have also copied this assignment from Think School.
Damn.
So that is a level at which we always imagined Think School to be. But now I can say this with assurance that it has become reality.
I have so much to say here, man. Again, what I said at the start of the podcast, that I've been in rooms with big corporates who've referenced Think School and then said that, you know why I watch Think School? Because I really value my time. So it's effectively what you said about per second value. Secondly, I remember trying to do this with health-oriented content back in 2016 or 17, where we tried pushing the envelope when it comes to the scientific details about fitness and health, because we were just a fitness channel back then, and the audience rejected it back then.
Oh, okay.
And I got so demotivated because I'd spent 2 days researching about a particular topic, and I realized that maybe audiences just not interested to learn about fats and how fat consumption works. In that much detail at that point. But maybe the argument could be made that even if I make that video today, it may not do well. I think people are watching your stuff because your content, other than everything you've said, is also somewhere related to current affairs.
Correct.
Good knowledge about current affairs leads to good social projection in many rooms. And good social projection, along with knowledge about current affairs, along with the kind of business content you make, leads to better career potential and opportunities. Correct. So there is that selfish, I want to become rich by watching Ganesh angle. So
people have told me countless times that I went to this party. There were these 5 people who were talking about UK's economic crisis. I just barged in and I explained the whole thing to them. And then they were all very quiet. They were astonished by the kind of knowledge that I had. And that's when I realized that Think School is also a very good instrument of show off. So that you can consume content, not tell anybody else, and then suddenly sound very smart in your friend circle.
Social projection.
Yeah.
Why do human beings want to become richer on a very primal level?
I actually never thought about that. Because the only reason why I wanted to get rich is so that I can be more independent and do what I always wanted to do. So that I could have the best dish. So that I could stay at the best places. So that I could take my friends to amazing places. So that I can make my parents' life more comfortable. That's always been like the primary agenda. And now that it has happened, seems like, yeah, Think School worked.
And Think School is also going to make the progeny that you give rise to have a better quality of life. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this playlist for more videos just like this. It's TRS Clips.